I feel guilty asking you guys to do things. I feel guilty asking you guys to hit the like button. That's just who I am. So asking you guys to like buy me a cup of coffee or something, I'd feel terrible. I'd lose sleep over it and have to go to confession.
2 million.
Anyways, just seriously, guys,
2 million people have viewed us.
That's absolutely bonkers. So your 1,000 horsepower car versus a 400 horsepower car being better, and arguing about that like we're in high school. I suspect this will be a highly unpopular video, right? You know.
Not a wine connoisseur and definitely not a champagne connoisseur, but you know, I would normally crack open a beer, but I think this is a champagne occasion.
Hi, my name is Jason Woods and welcome to Chasing the Apex. So I don't even know where to begin. 2 million, just 2 million views. 2 million? Little old me? Holy hell. No, seriously guys, 2 million people have viewed us. That's absolutely bonkers. So to celebrate that, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get a bottle of champagne, we're gonna crack that open, and I don't know, maybe 2 million people in 2 years will watch me sharing a drink with you. Because really, it's you guys that made that happen. Every time you guys liked and viewed a video all the way through and shared it, you guys did that. It wasn't me. All I did was get up here on camera and tell the truth, or at least my truth. So totally a wine glass, not a champagne glass, but we're gonna go with it anyways because that's the glasses I have. So welcome back to the garage. It's been a long time since I've vlogged. As you can see, I'm trying to dress it up as I go. Let me move this so you can see this one cool guy picture I have. It's like the only cool guy picture I really have. And these are all gifts from you guys. You know, obviously you have stuff from Eason, you have stuff from YC, you have stuff from Fault. These came from personal friends that know my interests, and the BC Boys and the record player came from my girls. So I'm really stoked to be able to dress it up some. Obviously the Daredevil toys. So somebody's gonna ask me about the Daredevil toys, and the reality is he's Roman Catholic. You know, that's why he's the most powerful superhero in the Marvel Universe. I actually don't know anything about the Marvel Universe, but because he prays to God and he's Roman Catholic, I dig him. Okay, so let's talk about it, right? It's the topic of the day. First of all, why am I not reviewing a car? Because I was sick for a few days and I'm just getting over it. I was supposed to review something pretty special, something Italian, but the reality is I was sick and I don't want to get anybody else sick. I don't want to. And there's some truth in that, right? You know, I'm an adult and you're gonna hear some adult conversation right now. So a very popular topic, right? A very popular trope, if you will, is there is no replacement for displacement. I fracking hate that term. Let me tell you why. There's only one place where displacement truly tells a driver's truth, and that's on a drag strip or an air strip, okay? So your 1,000 horsepower argument against a 400 horsepower car doesn't work for me. Car being better, and arguing about that like we're in high school, because if you've ever visited any of the Facebook marketplaces, people actually argue like this. I should give you an example of such an argument. I'll post it somewhere. The reality is that does not tell a driving truth, okay? And so, at least not to me. I learned a long time ago on a moto. The first time I was passed by some track rat on his clapped out 250 and ripped up leathers on my larger displacement bike, that skill matters more than horsepower. And I gotta tell you, I can't put 1,000 horsepower to the ground effectively on a road track. Can't do it. And I'll be honest with you, if you're doing it on the street, I question either your sanity or, damn, you're really, really, really good. Because driving is more than horsepower. So when you start your argument with that, when you start your argument with a top speed or a horsepower, you know, amongst drivers, amongst guys that really drive, you sound kind of silly, because those dudes will tell you it's more fun to drive a slow car fast than a fast car slow. So if you're going and you're barreling down the straights, to get to the turn and then parking it, we call those people corner parkers, then functionally you're not the driver you think you are. Now, I'm not taking anything away from the drag strip guys, and I'm not taking anything away from the high horsepower guys. I got it. But it has its place. Just like Cannon Rat small cars and nimble cars have their place. Tours have a different place. And they're all beautiful and they're all brilliant. And I'm not knocking any of it. I don't build engines. I don't. I'm about as mechanically inclined as a cat. I'm gonna take a drink of this real quick. But the reality is that's not what's going on, man. You come to me and you tell me, hey Jay, you know, the Nissan GTR you're talking about has nothing on a Ferrari. Well, okay, well the Nissan GTR I'm talking about is absolutely excellent, and it's a matter of fact, it's more car than I'm capable of driving. And I don't know what kind of skill you have, but apparently you have a lot of skill, because on a twisty bit of road, that thing could get away from you. It just could. And apparently you have more skill than I do, you know. And so when referenced, I'm going to post some of these comments, right, and you'll kind of see them around where the guy's talking, and you know, his first response, you know, is like, I'm in car sales, I know a little bit about cars. Okay, well, I'm not in car sales, I don't know that about cars. I'm about as mechanically inclined as a cat, but I can drive. I can do okay as a driver. But you know what I do know? I'm not the fastest guy out there. It doesn't matter where it is. I'm out there to have a good time. And I'm not trying to be the fastest guy on the street, okay? I'm not Too Fast, Too Furious or whatever. I've actually never seen those films, by the way. Are they any good? I've never seen them. So when you come to me with an argument like this, right, my initial response is, well, I love all cars, right? And I don't care if they're JDM, or I don't care if they're Euro, and I don't care if they're Italian, and I don't care if they're German, and I love them. I love them for what they are, right? But when I'm looking for something for myself, I'm looking for driving truth, right? So I'm looking for something that can do a little bit of it all, right? Because I can only own one car. There's some realities here. I'm not a full-time YouTuber. I know there's plenty of you guys that are, and I appreciate you full-time YouTubers watching. I mean, truly, I appreciate your support. Wish I would have had it earlier on, though. The reality was, you know, I didn't know what I was doing, but I do appreciate those of you that have given me direction. So while we're talking about that, right, we're talking about, you know, brand marquees, right? We're talking about marquees, right? So everybody's got this brand loyalty. Like, I'll only drive a Porsche. I'll only drive a Ferrari. I'll only drive a Lotus. I'll only drive JDM, you know? Okay, got it. That's you. But I don't think you should be pushing, this is my own personal opinion, you know, your BS upon others. So when you're debating stats, right, that's something you kind of do in a pub, right? You're talking about stats, car guys are there, and they're like, hey man, you know, the Dodge whatever has 800 horsepower. And I'm like, hey man, that's cool. That's really, you know, a feat of engineering. You know, the fact that it puts it to the ground safely is really pretty spectacular. But, you know, when you're comparing this $30,000 vehicle to this $140,000 vehicle used, right, $150,000 or $170,000 vehicle used that might have 3 miles on it because the dude never drove it. Got it. You won in specs. My question now is, what are you arguing? Are you arguing you have a better car, or are you arguing you're a better driver? Because they're two different arguments, right? And one of those arguments, a fast guy, any fast guy is going to tell you they're not a fast guy, they've seen faster. So when you tell me you're a fast guy, I go, ooh, that sounds scary, because I know I'm not a fast guy, because I've seen fast and I'm not it. I suspect this will be a highly unpopular video, right? You know, because this is a highly unpopular opinion. So when young people, and I do interact with young people because, you know, I'm in a lot of discords, and a lot of those discords have very young people in it, and they always ask me about their first car. The last thing I bring up is horsepower. Seriously, I do. Having a car in your garage is a luxury, okay? And so what I tell them is, buy something reliable, buy something you enjoy, buy something that's, you know, cost effective, and, you know, make sure you can do some work on it yourself. I mean, and that's just going to keep the bills down. We're not talking about that, right? And I have no problem with that. So what I hate hearing is, oh, you know, you're a 17-year-old kid, you're going to university, you're working your second job, you're working very hard, you should go buy a $30,000 car. No, I don't think you should. I don't. Absolutely not. And you can hate me all day for saying that. I don't care. Okay? Because the reality is I want that young person that is watching me to at least look at me and go, I remember Jason said that these are luxuries that come later in life. So it's actually taken me a very long time. And I appreciate you guys tolerating me. So you can see I've broken up the channel into 3 playlists, right? There's the beginning year where pretty much everything sucks, and then there's the second year doing a little better, and then there's the current year. So YouTube, in its infinite wisdom, wants to advertise all the old stuff. I don't know why. I don't know how the algorithm works, but you're showing people that I suck, and okay. That's fine, I kind of do, and I still look like Uncle Fester, and I'm still drinking in my garage. However, under a slightly different scope. And so even back then, right, if you were to look at my earlier videos, you'd see, right, I wanted to tell a driving truth, right, the driver's truth, not the specs and manufacturer's truth. While I recognize those are important to people, and people argue about that in their locker room when they're 12, I think that for me, and probably many others, or at least many others I know of, that there's another truth, and that's what the car and the emotion of the car makes you feel. And that's what you're driving. And that's what I try to cover in the reviews. Now, I'm not saying specs don't matter. They do matter. They matter to you. They don't necessarily matter to me. I don't know a car until I get in it and I flog it. And as you can see, through the reviews, I've flogged a few. I've flogged my fair share, right? And they just keep coming, and they keep, thank God for YC Auto Group and Eason Auto and everybody else that supports me, because that's how that's occurring. But what I want to do is I want to share that experience with you. Now, why? Because when you do drop that mini mortgage, I'd like you to do it based more on what some magazine said, because I'll tell you the truth, right? I write in prose. I've actually published 5 novels. I'm not going to cover that here, right? But the reality is prose can be written in a manner that's misleading, and you don't know if that dude can actually drive. Some can, some can't. I've met some reviewers recently that couldn't drive their way out of a paper bag, and I've met some reviewers that are really honest about that. They just love cars, and I think that distinction is important. What a dude makes you believe versus what a dude is. And when I meet somebody, and when I meet a reviewer, I want to know who he is, right? And what you see from me all the time is just who I am. So yeah, the 2 million views, and I have no idea where Chasing the Apex goes from here, just like I didn't when it began. And that's kind of cool. But I want to thank you all for watching Chasing the Apex. God knows, you actually get more subscribers from these videos than I do from reviews, which is kind of interesting. But the reality is I like bringing content to you guys, and I like doing the best I can, but I'm not a perfect dude. So I appreciate you guys being here with me, and I appreciate you guys subscribing and liking, commenting, and sharing, because it matters. It matters to me. I haven't put up like a Patreon or like a buy me a coffee thing, honestly, because I feel guilty. I feel guilty asking you guys to do things. I feel guilty asking you guys to hit the like button. That's just who I am. So asking you guys to like buy me a cup of coffee or something, I'd feel terrible. I'd lose sleep over it and have to go to confession. Anyways, thanks for watching Chasing the Apex, and if you made it this far, Chasing the Apex made this because of you. It wasn't because of me. You guys are chasing the Apex, not me. I'm just some random dude that looks like Uncle Fester and gets up here and talks. And so, thank you all for watching. Thanks to YC Auto Group for providing all the cars for us to review. It's just unimaginable. And Bill Eason, who's been here from the beginning, even when we were terrible, bro, I appreciate it. Thanks to all you YouTubers, right, that are reaching out to me and asking me for some assistance or guidance. I love giving it to you. YouTube's a hard road. It's not an easy road. And I love helping. I really do. And so thank you. Thank you for reaching out to me. You know, I'm privileged and flattered that you'd even ask. Anyways, thanks for watching Chasing the Apex, and we'll see you next week. Those of you that have given me direction.